Hey everyone, Captain Gonzo with that Flight Sim channel. Welcome back. This one is kind of a surprise to us. I had no idea that COWS, creator of World Simulations, was developing the DA40, or maybe I just completely forgot. If you go back in our channel history and take a look at our tutorials, we have a whole segment dedicated to the DA42 that COWS put out earlier last year, 2024. And I'll be honest, it was one of my favorite add-ons for quite some time, maybe about a month or two. I was non-stop flying the Diamond DA42, which is rare because I've never really been a fan of these planes, to be honest. I like them, I respect them. They are great trainers, great aircraft for private owners. Quite expensive too, if you compare them to other options, but then again, aviation is expensive, so what the hell. But this is my first raw impression. I promise. I literally just bought this airplane, hopped on the sim, recorded that B-roll you saw for the intro, and I have no idea what to do. So we're going to learn together and just get this thing started up, get up in the air, and have some fun with it. We are in Teterboro, New Jersey here. This scenery is by Dreamflight, I believe. I'll make sure I include that in the description. Highly, highly recommend this scenery. You know that we are suckers here for good detailed sceneries, and this one includes static models that really bring this very busy private airport to life. Anyways, we're taking a walk around looking at the DA40, and it is pretty good details. I mean, if you can see the wear marks, scratches, the impacts there from bugs, and maybe a few dings from rocks and stuff on the runway, I gotta hand it to them. They did a heck of a job. Now, of course, right now, the walk-around features are not modeled or simulated, and that is fine. I'm not too concerned with that. I think I want to get inside and get my hands on the controls and see how it behaves, because here is my one thing that I want to mention. I was going to do a tutorial on the default DA40 that's included here with Flight Sim 2024, and just to clarify, we are using the Aviator series, which obviously includes the premium deluxe aircraft and all that kind of stuff. I've noticed some of you people on the comments asking, hey, where can I get this plane? I don't see it. And just keep in mind, we are using the Aviator series, both Captain Flako and myself, so we have every aircraft available. But anyways, just wanted to clarify that. And the DA40 that's included, it's, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. The engine idle, the way it handles, it's really difficult to slow down, which is funny because I know some of you guys have been talking about that with other aircraft. But anyways, I'm glad COWS surprised me with this one, because I was looking to do a tutorial, which I will probably be doing on this one as well, and Captain Flako. So really happy that COWS put this thing out. It is kind of pricey, about $44 US. I know for all of us that just drop money on sceneries and other airplanes and the simulator to begin with, it's not an easy feat, but I can definitely say so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's pretty good, pretty neat. Let's go ahead and jump in the cockpit, see what it has to offer. Obviously, you can see the G1000 layout, which is pretty standard for most of these Diamond aircraft nowadays. But you notice that we actually have a propeller lever and a mixture lever, whereas in the more modern, I think it's the DGX or DXG, Don't remember what the model is, but yeah, you don't have that. You just have a throttle, your fuel selector, everything else is about the same. All right, well, I think we're going to run through a startup here together and see how that goes. Good sounds. Okay. All right, and we will keep these little portholes open to get some airflow. So, to get that checklist, obviously, press whatever key binding you have for your EFB. And look at this. It has a pretty good checklist. I mean, it has everything we need. And let's go through the before engine starts. So, elevator trim. It's going to be down here. Yep, neutral. You can see that black line there. Aligns with the takeoff. So if I go nose up, nose down, there it goes. Throttle, propeller, and mixture. So the throttle has to be idle. Propeller has to go full forward for high. And the mixture has to be in cutoff. Parking brake is set. The parking brake is found here on the far right. You can see it on the bottom is locked. And there is released. So we want it locked. Ignition has to be off. I believe the ignition is right here. Yep, with the key. Alternate air. Let's see where it's at. I don't even know if it's populating that right now, but let's see if I can find it. I think they're usually down here somewhere. There it is. Alternate air. So make sure that it is pushed, which equals closed, and pulled would be open. So if we pull it, you can see it even tells you alternate air is on. Alternate air is closed. Master has to be off. So let's move this over. The master will be these switches down here. You've got your avionics master, ESS bus, alternator, and battery. Fuel pump, everything is off. Alternate static, that is closed. That's the one found way yonder over here. And you can see you've even got a nice little sticker there. So to open it, you would flip it towards the pilot. To close it, turn it perpendicular to your line of sight. All lights have to be off. They're found here on the top of the left panel. Circuit breakers, let's check that they are all indeed pushed in. And it looks like they're actually modeled so you can pop them out. That's cool. We can always mess with that later on and see how well they are modeled. Flap selector, make sure they are up. There we go. On the right side here. Flaps are up. Pilot heat and fuel pump have to be off. So there's your fuel pump and your, I said pilot heat. They wrote pilot, but it's pitot heat. Battery master has to come on. So we'll go ahead and turn the battery on. G1000 powered and acknowledged. So what that's telling you is verify your PFD is powering up, AHRS is aligning, and then press enter. Oh, and I think we've got the onboard checklist. Okay, okay, this makes me really happy. Yep, I'm really happy with this. Let's go to next item. Okay. Okay, I like this. So let me see. Let me scroll down. Let's go to group. User agreement. Nah, we don't care about that right now. Let's go to normal operating procedures. And you can see that I pressed the group key. And using that FMS smaller knob, I can scroll through whatever checklist I want to get. So let's go to normal operating. And you know what? Let's put the EFB away. I'm liking this. This is pretty awesome. So check before engine start. Here we go. Electric master has been on. Rudder pedals adjusted. Passengers instructed. Don't touch anything. There we go. Seat belts fastened. Adjustable backrests upright. Rear door is closed and latched. We took care of that. Front canopy, position 1 or 2. So that's obviously going to kick us out. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, I like that. So a lot of these planes, when you open that main door, it'll put you outside for the walk around. So I like that. That's cool. Fuel quantity check.
System test. Okay.
There we go. So we are looking at our fuel quantity on the bottom here of our EIS and indicating systems. We've got plenty of gas. Fuel selector, full tank. Okay, so both tanks are about equal, so we'll stay on the left tank. MFD engine system, so we can press engine. Oh, that is beautiful. Very similar to what you see on the Ceres SR22 that's included with the Premium Deluxe here. You got nice indicators. Okay, I'm excited. I'm really happy. Fuel quantity, reset set if required. We're not fueling the airplane, so we don't have to add or remove fuel. Total time in service noted. I wonder where we can see that. I know we have a... There's the Hobbs. So, showing 0, obviously, because we haven't fired this plane up before. So, I haven't flown it. And there's the evidence. Alright, MFD, engine default, so we'll leave it as is. The ACL or the strobe light can come on. Well, that's the anti-collision light, so let's go ahead and throw that on right here. Propeller area is clear. Clear right, clear left. And then after the engine starts, we'll check oil pressure in the green. Within 15 seconds, we'll check amps, volts. Okay, so here is the normal operating procedures for an after engine start. So now, let's go ahead and take care of this. Let's see if the actual checklist has something. Okay. Alright. So doors latched, ACL, anti-collision light. Throttle will open at 2 inches. And you see right there, it tells you the bottom edge aligned with the bottom of the E. You can see throttle written out or labeled. So we'll put it about there. Fuel pump coming on. Your fuel pump is right here. Very good sound. We'll throw the mixture full rich for 3 to 5 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. I can see the fuel flow increasing. And then throttle, we'll go ahead and set top edge aligned with the bottom of the E. Okay, so now we got to open it 1/2 inch. There we go. Propeller area is clear. Let's go ahead and bring back that mixture. I'm assuming it wants us to put it back to cutoff. And we'll use it as we start cranking the engine over. Ignition key, we'll turn it over to start for a maximum of 10 seconds. And then when the engine fires, mixture to full rich. Perfect. Here we go, guys. Clear prop. Okay, no joy. Let's try that again. Beautiful. Let me lower the sounds. There we go. So yeah, it looks like the mapping on my Honeycomb Alpha keeps resetting between start and both on the ignition, so I'll take care of that at a future date. Now we want to check the oil pressure, make sure that it is in the green. Indeed, it is green. Throttle. We'll adjust it to maintain about 1,000 RPM. $990, close enough. Fuel pump can come off. Fuel pressure, verify in the green. Fuel pressure indeed is in the green. Alternator master is on. I already flicked that on, so that was my mistake. So let me go ahead and turn it on again. You can see RPMs rise when it's off. So once we turn it on, RPMs just stabilize once again at just about 1,000 or a little bit underneath. Okay, I'll take that. And the voltage, electrical load, check. Good voltage in the green. Awesome. Okay, so now let's go over to the MFD and take care of the after start checklist. Oil pressure is checked, green. Fuel selector, we're going to switch the tanks. Pitot heat on. Check the enunciation and the amps checked, right? So positive amps. Yep, there goes the amps. They went up above 0. Pitot heat off. And you can see the amps come back down. And the enunciator is showing on your CAS on the PFD. Now let's get the avionics master on right here. Once those are on, we'll see the X's come out here and our radios will come online. Okay, everybody, so in true idiot form, like I do a lot here, when I'm recording, my microphone was muted during this segment of the video. However, remember that this is not necessarily a tutorial, but rather a first impression. So what you're seeing is just me setting up a quick flight plan on the FMS via the G1000 MFD. And by now, if you've watched all of our other videos or you've spent some time behind all the other aircraft with the G1000, nothing changes. It's the same thing. G1000 NXI, you'll find it on the Cirrus, you'll find it on the Cessna 400. The Vision Jet has its own implementation of the the Garmin suite. So anyways, what I'm trying to say, remember, not a tutorial. This is just for video purposes, trying to get the system running and kind of testing everything. So we'll be taking off runway 24, and I'll fast forward here and just put some B-roll taxiing out. And we'll see you in a few seconds while we're holding short of runway 24 for our departure. As we're taxiing out here, one thing to point out about the DA40 is that it does not have a nose wheel steering mechanism. Instead, it is a free castering nose wheel, and you got to use differential braking. So you can see I'm kind of turning in here, and I'm inadvertently turning the full rudder, but you don't really need to do that. Just step on those toe brakes, and if you want to go right, you step on the right toe brake. You want to go left, left toe brake, and that's how you achieve steering on the ground. So we're holding short runway 24. Let's set the parking brake really quick here. And what I'm going to do here is close those portholes before we take the runway. We're going to confer with that before takeoff checklist. We'll go through the run-up sequence, so I won't be talking too much. Again, my apologies. Didn't realize the microphone was not recording during this time, so I'm just having to re-record the voice about 12 hours later in the day. Anyways, enjoy the run-up. Enjoy the takeoff stuff. I'll come back and narrate as we look over our V-speeds on the primary flight display, which are included and are important before we take flight. Alright, so we've had a successful run up, everything checks out. Let's look at our V speeds. We've got VR here, which is our rotation speed of 59 knots. VX, best angle of climb at 60 knots. VY, best rate of climb at 67. Then we've got VG, our best glide speed at 76 knots. And our VNE, never exceed speed of 178 knots. Make sure you're familiar with these. Make sure you know what you're going to be using for your climb out. We're checking our altimeters here, 3019er, they check out. The attitude indicator is nice and level with the horizon, and we are good to go. So we've checked runway 24 here before we take it. Let's go ahead and taxi over to the runway and get ready for our departure. Alright, we're on the takeoff roll now. Power is set for takeoff. Everything is looking smooth. RPMs are in the yellow there, but we'll adjust that. Airspeed's alive. We're looking for 59 knots to rotate. Here we go. And as you can see there, we're kind of flirting with VY, our best rate of climb, 67, 68 knots. We're climbing pretty smoothly, and I think above 300 feet we can bring the flaps up, which I've already done there. You can see on the bottom right there, the flaps indicator showing green light for up position. So throughout this climb out, we continue to just monitor the engine, monitor the performance for the climb out. And again, I gotta emphasize that the flight model just feels authentic. But again, never flown a Diamond. I'm just basing this off my real-world flying experience with other aircraft. And, you know, every aircraft has its dynamic and, you know, specific handling and flight model. But I can tell you that this plane just feels natural. It feels very authentic. I don't feel like the controls are oversensitive or dull. They correspond to your altitude, and you've got that roll authority and nose authority with your relative speeds. So what we're going to do here is we're going to continue climbing up. I think we come up to about 3,000 feet. At some point here in the video, I'll engage the autopilot. We'll make a left turn heading southeast towards Manhattan over New York City. And then the next part of this video, which I believe the voice is still there, I promise. It's just kind of doing some quick demos of some maneuvers. So we do some power-ons and power-off stalls. I think I'm just going to focus on the power-on stall and show you how the aircraft behaves. Then we'll do a steep turn, and then we'll come back over to Teterboro for a visual approach to runway 24. right, so we are cruising right above New York City here. Let's make a right turn. You can see the Jersey side here. I actually took a ferry one time here, right next to this huge building over to the city. Pretty cool. But yeah, this plane is handling beautifully. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do some maneuvers to see how it feels in general. We're going to fly over the bay here. We're going to stay south of the city. We're going to do some power ons and power off stalls as best as I can recall. And again, just a disclaimer, I don't fly diamonds in real life. Don't have much experience in them whatsoever. So we're going to just do it as best as we can and see how the aircraft behaves. Okay. So let's go ahead and start climbing. Reducing power a little bit just to get our airspeed to bleed off. Now we're going to simulate a power on stall. So we're going to go full takeoff power here. Start bringing the nose up, See what happens. See if it gets that buffet. Right rudder. There's a stall warning. Wow. There it goes. There's the left wing. Okay. Okay. Wow. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's recover. We've got good airspeed, good altitude. Okay, that felt pretty good. I like that. I like how the left wing actually stalled out first, and you can see we had to correct to not put ourselves in a flat spin there. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Let's see if I remember how to do a power off. Oh, the winds are changing up here. Okay. There's a stall warning. Keeping the nose up. Whoa. There it goes. Power. Okay. Okay. This little DA40 is fun, I gotta tell you. Alright, so that's pretty good. I like that. If you're a real-world diamond pilot and I am doing this stall incorrectly, let me know. I'm just trying to go back to, what was it, 9 years ago when I did my private pilot course. And when I do my biannual flight reviews, just trying to remember off the top of my head my power-ons and power-off stalls. So, a little shaky there, but just want to see how the aircraft behaves and how it responds, and this definitely feels like a payware quality add-on, and it is. I believe I mentioned the price, what, 44 US dollars, 40 US dollars, somewhere in that range, but keep in mind, you're not just paying for the fancy G1000 simulation here and the systems and the modeling, but you're paying for the overall flight characteristics and the modeling. And if you guys don't know, COWS, creator of World Simulations, they're actual diamond instructor pilots and seasoned pilots that are taking their years of techniques, skills, and experience in the diamond aircraft and trying to make it available for us in the flight simulator community. So pretty awesome stuff. Let's see if we can do a steep turn here. So what we're going to do is let's find a target altitude, 6,200 feet, whatever. That seems about right. And we're on heading 030. So here we go. This is going to be very, very shaky steep turn. So 61, 60. We're going to look for 45 degrees of bank. So here we go. Okay, overshot that by 8 degrees, but we maintained some decent altitude. And one thing that you will not feel in the simulator, as far as I know, is that buffet when you hit your own wake turbulence. That's how you know you did a good steep turn. All right, enough messing around with the flight maneuvers here. This is just for me, more to have some fun and see how the aircraft feels. There is teeter barrel off of our 10 o'clock. So runway 24 is where we took off from, right here. So like I said, let's go ahead and set up an approach to runway 24. So let's make a left turn. Let's start descending. We gotta be about 3,000 feet, I believe. Let's hit our heading bug right now too. Let's go in that general direction. There we go, much better. Alright, let's engage the autopilot. Let's go flight level change. At 120 knots, we'll descend to 3,000. Okay, well, setting up the instrument approach did not go well. G1000 does not want to load it up. I'm only assuming it's because I didn't have an actual route. It could be something I'm doing. I tried it again. Let's see if I go to activate approach. Yeah, nothing's showing here. Okay, that's okay. We'll just do a visual then for runway 24. Let's go back to the checklist. For our descent and approach checklist, make sure we have the landing data received. Altimeters are set, still 3019er. COM, NAV, and FMS should be set. If you were talking to tower or anybody else, make sure you've got the proper frequencies, seatbelt set, adjustable backrest, and the fuel selector. Let's set it to the right tank. You can see the left tank is significantly lower. And let's go to the next checklist. This will be the after landing checklist. So I think I see Teeterboro back there. Yep. Let's go ahead and disengage the autopilot and take over the controls ourselves. And remember, this is a very informal video. We're not trying to do a full-on tutorial just yet. We got to come down some. We're at 2,900 feet. We're on a far right downwind here. And I don't have much knowledge on what the speeds are for this airplane. I'm going to assume it's somewhere between 55 and 60 knots on that final approach. Okay, let's go flaps full for landing. Yeah, this is beautiful. This plane is handling perfectly. There's runway 24, a little bit low on the approach. I don't know, that Pappy I think is a little bit bugged out here on the scenery because I feel like I'm way high right now. I don't know why it's showing all red. But we do have some markets there, some buildings just behind the runway threshold there, so I get it. But yeah, look at this. This is way high, still showing all red. It's all right. We'll still bring her down. All right, so remember, we've got a slight quartering headwind there, with a little bit of a crosswind factor coming from heading 270. Let's see how we can do this. So we're about 67, 68 knots. Let's bring the nose up, bleed off a little airspeed there. Power coming back. Okay, okay. A little harsh. Wow, though, I'm loving this plane so far. I gotta tell you, like I said, just the way it feels, how we crossed over the numbers there. You can really feel the airplane wanted to sink all of a sudden. That felt pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and vacate the runway here. Remember, it is a bit tricky with that differential braking, but it's just something to get used to. Let's go ahead and clean the flaps up. Alright, and let's confer with that after landing checklist. So we'll come here to the MFD, press charts, checklist. Flaps up, pitot heat can come off. Electric fuel pump can come off. Alternate air, make sure it is closed. It is closed. Landing and taxi lights as required. We don't need that landing light anymore. Press enter. And this will be the parking check. So let's go ahead and taxi on in. We're gonna go to signature here on the west side of Teterboro. Once again, just pointing out, look at all the static models here that we have of all these business jets. We've got a King Air, a Falcon 900, Gulfstream 450, a couple of them right there, another Falcon. Coming from a general aviation background, this always makes me happy. Makes me relive a lot of memories. And although I never worked at Teterboro, this airport does have a reputation for being one of the busiest in the country for general aviation traffic as such. I believe Signature here has like 3 or 4 locations. Cool looking Gulfstream X-Ray Alpha. That's a Mexican registration. Cool stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and find a parking spot here. I see a Challenger 600 series there. I'm gonna go right next to him. Gotta be cool. Let's open up these windows. There's the FBO terminal. And let's see how tight we can turn this aircraft around. Make sure I don't hit that G550 there on the left. There we go. Make it cool. Alright. We'll stop her right here. Let's get that parking brake on. Engine instruments checked. Everything's green. Everything's looking good. Engine system. Everything's still looking pretty good. Total time in service. Let's check the Hobbs. 0.9, okay, so just shy of an hour. ELT check not activated. It is still on the armed. That's good. Avionics master can come off. Electrical consumers except the strobe lights can come off, so we'll turn off all other lights. There we go. Throttle retarded back down to about 1,000 RPM. Ignition grounding check. Make sure idle cutoff. There we go. Ignition is off. Strobe light can come off. Just turn it off from my yoke. Interior light checked off. Everything is off there. Start key removed, so don't know if it's modeled. Nope. Okay, that'll be cool though if you could remove it. And finally, electric master can come off. Awesome. Well, what can I say? I'm very, very impressed so far. This airplane behaved very, very nicely. And I know, It's got a price tag on it, 40 something dollars, US dollars. I know everybody's financial situations are different, and we understand if it is rather steep to pay $40 for such a small airplane, but again, keep in mind that you are paying for quality here. And just to kind of reiterate, COWS has that reputation so far in the simulator community with their DA42, and the best part about it is that it is modeled and recreated in Flight Sim 2024 and X-Plane, I believe, based on input from experienced and seasoned Diamond instructor pilots. So I don't think it gets any better than that, to be honest. And obviously, there are always going to be limitations with every simulator of what is simulated and what isn't. But I can tell you right now that I am happy I purchased this aircraft, and the timing could have not been better. I had literally fired up the default Diamond earlier today, started recording, and after trying out a full flight, I just was not happy. It just didn't behave the way I thought it would. And this airplane, I was scrolling through social media, saw somebody shared how the aircraft had released, and I was completely blindsided but happy. So I purchased it, and here we are for our first impression, first take. As always, remember, we are no professionals, no experts. We just wanted to give you a quick run of what it feels like to own and fly the COWS DA40. And will I recommend it? Yeah, I think I will definitely be recommending it. And I intend to do some more full flights with it, point A to point B, to see if the autopilot and everything functions as it should. But anyways, enough of the chatter. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video, relatively quick, and enjoyed seeing how the DA40 behaved. I hope that you guys can use this as somewhat of a temperature gauge for yourself, so that you can determine whether or not you'll be purchasing it. If the answer is no, then that is fine. Keep watching our videos, because we will continue to do more videos like I just said. And then later on, maybe as the simulator and the aircraft are optimized even further, then maybe that answer will change. Alright guys, well, thank you for tuning in to yet another video of that Flight Sim channel. This is Captain Gonzo, coming to you here from Teterboro, New Jersey. Wishing you guys all smooth landings, happy flying, and we'll be seeing you all very soon on the next one.